So for years, I've collected a lot of business books. You probably have too. You pick them up at conferences, you hear a guest speaker, they make a lot of sense to you in the moment. So you bring a copy home, maybe they sign the front of it, maybe not. You buy them online, your Vistage group shared it, whatever it is. I have a bunch of business books. Matter of fact, they're all sitting in boxes because they're going to half price books because I'm tired of looking at them because they generally make me angry. They make me angry about what I don't know, but they also make me angry with some of the bad advice that I read in them. There was one book in particular that I'm very unfond of, and I can't say the name of it because it was a big deal at one time. But it's all about, scaling your business. And it came out during the dot-com era when it was like everything was go. It's like, you know, build something, break it, keep building it, keep breaking it, keep building it, keep breaking it. And it says, like, who cares if your first 100 customers are wildly disappointed? At least you have 100 customers. Keep breaking stuff. Eventually you'll have happy customers. Don't worry about it. Keep breaking stuff. And it just makes me crazy. And one, because it's very familiar. I mean, so much of our industry is accidental entrepreneurs. We know how to do what we know. We know how to do a show. We know how to buy lighting gear. We know how to do something technical. And we just keep building the business and we get successful. So we do more of what we know how to do. And then we neglect all the things that we don't know how to do. And then somewhere down the line, you go, oh, wait a minute. I should have been strategic, or I can't sell my company, or I can't hire anybody because nobody knows how this works. Then you call me and I'm going, here's all the things that you could have done that we're going to have to do now. And it's not the fun stuff. But if you do it, gosh, so many things are fun. So for the 100th podcast in this series, I'm going to share with you the 3 things you really should master before you give yourself the permission to go out there and be wildly strategic and try and change the course of your business or take on new things or be even more entrepreneurial than you already are. Tap the brakes, do these things. Listen to me.
Welcome to your weekly dose of uncommon sense, helpful insights, and tough love. I'm your host, Tom Stimson. The Intentional Success Podcast comes to you through the generous support of Mertz Crew.
Mertz Crew helps top AV companies book quality AV freelancers. Your choice, your rates. We handle contracts, insurance, and payments. You save time, cost, and reduce risk. Start today at mertzcrew.com.
Now onto the show.
So accidental entrepreneurs, everybody's recognizing this in themselves now. They're starting to see the things that they could have done in the past or should have done or should have focused on. They're starting to better understand what they don't know about their business. Most of us characterize, particularly in the event industry, we characterize people as people who know what they don't know and people who don't know what they don't know. And of course, people who don't know what they don't know are the most dangerous people at all because they assume they know what they're doing and they don't know what they don't know. So they get themselves in situations which puts our shows at risk. A freelance technician who doesn't know what they don't know is extremely dangerous. But then so is a producer, so is a client, so is an AV production company. In business, not knowing what you don't know probably won't hurt you in the short run, but in the long run, it makes a huge, huge difference. So at this stage of my career, and I've been playing, firefighter for the past 20 years as a consultant, helping people, put out the fires that were created by the circumstances of today, but those openings were things that they didn't do or neglected to do 5, 10, 20, or 30 years ago. Well, let's talk about what those things really are, because now that we are working towards a scalable business model, we understand balance, we understand how to run a profitable business. The number of things I need to implore for you to do, that list has gotten really short. So let's clean up your accidental entrepreneurship business very quickly so that you can move on and get back to doing the fun stuff. Are you ready? Strap in. All right. First of all, my assumption is you are a service-based organization. If you're a pure play rental, all of this applies. It doesn't apply in the same way. You're a production company. You're helping your clients put on events, get their shows done. Very complex organization, but it's service-based. Whether you own equipment or not doesn't matter. The end result is everything works for the client. You are outcome focused. So again, you don't have to have it in-house in order to do it. You can outsource the things that you don't have to deliver the unique needs of a client in any given situation. It is more than just being service, it's being broad-minded enough to know that you have to fulfill a scope of work for your customer. So that's another assumption I'm going to make about you as a listener right now. And then the third one is that you're always going to do what you said you were going to do, even if it hurts. If you said something, you made a mistake in your pricing, you're going to suck it up and you're going to get it done, because this is about integrity. It's about quality. It's about doing what you said you were going to do. And you're that person. So I'm going to make those three assumptions right now. You are a good business person. You are trying to do the right things for your customers, your employees, and your suppliers. Awesome. Great. Lovely to meet you. You're the kind of folks I want to talk to. Give me a call sometime. 3 things that you need to do to get your business on the right track so that you will open up whatever doors you want to open. You will be better prepared to walk through them. You will reduce your risk of being strategic, trying new things, going off on an adventure, because sometimes we have to try something. We want to grow sales. There's no guaranteed way to grow sales. So we have to try some things, and not everyone's going to work, but we can mitigate our risk by doing these 3 things. Number 1, fix your accounting. Please, please, please fix your accounting. For somebody who talks about service all the time, I spend a lot of time talking about accounting. All right. Here's the simple truth about accounting. Make your controller or your bookkeeper or your CPA firm listen to this. This is not about tax accounting. This is about your business accounting. I don't care who set up your books. They are probably not in this business, and they probably didn't do it correctly, and it is hurting you. Here's how to do it, and you can fix it, okay? Do not go back and worry about the 10 years of data that's going to be wrong if you change your accounting system now. Nobody cares. You can always go back and look at it. If you want to relive 2017, you can go do that. But the fact is, the sooner you start keeping your numbers correctly, the sooner you're going to have consistent historical data for your business. So quit putting it off. Accounting. Number 1 thing you need to do is you need to make your revenue look like the business that you do. So you have to align your revenue to your service offerings. Yes. Okay. So for instance, if you have rental or dry hire, then you've got a rental and dry hire category. But if you do rental for production is different revenue than rental for dry hire. Does that make sense? Of course it does. Same thing goes for rental for creative. You're doing creative work. You're shooting videos. The equipment for that is different than the equipment for shows. So make sure your revenue reflects the business that you're in. You might have multiple lines of business, okay, but you may do similar things in them. Break that revenue up. It's extremely important to figure out if what you're doing is actually profitable. Number 2, once you've set up your revenue categories, make sure that you align your cost of goods sold to each of those categories. For instance, every revenue category, equipment for production, labor for production, travel for production, trucking for production, supplies for production, every one of those revenue categories has a direct cost. They have a cost of goods sold associated with it that should line up. Okay. It should be an easy 1-to-1 comparison on anything that you sell to see how profitable it is. And if you have sub-rentals for dry hire and sub-rentals for production and sub-rentals for creative, you have 3 different sub-rental categories. You following me? Basically, you're running 3 businesses with 3 different revenue streams that are very similar. You have cost of goods sold that align to each of those revenue streams so that you can clearly see how profitable you are in any given revenue category. It is not that difficult. It is actually smaller than many of the P&Ls that I actually look at on a daily basis. This will make your life much easier. And then within accounting, the last thing you need to take a look at is your expenses, your overhead. So anything that is not revenue, cost of goods sold is expense. Expenses also Very simple. You have expense for selling. Selling is what it costs for you to acquire the business. It's your order takers, it's your salespeople, it's your business development, it's your marketing, it's your promotions. Anything that helps you acquire revenue is a selling expense. Group all of those things together. Okay. Putting more money into that sometimes will help you grow your business. Putting the right money will help it grow better. You need to know which money that is. You have administrative expenses, which is just about everything else. Administrative expenses are all the things that you have to pay for, even if you have no revenue, right? So you've got management, you've got buildings, you got cell phones, you got electricity, you've got insurance. All of those things, those bills come in every single month. They don't care how busy you are, right? And the third category under expenses are financing expenses. That's credit card fees, it's depreciation, it's interest rates on your loans, all those things that are banking related. Put them in a separate category. Now you've got a very clean accounting P&L. Okay, start from there, go forward. Make sure that anytime you add something to your P&L that you're paying attention to the outline that I just described, so that you're not inventing new accounting because you just didn't know what to do or your accountant didn't know what to do with it. All right. Number two thing that you absolutely have to do to prepare your company to do something strategic next is fix your pricing, for goodness sakes, people. Okay. Pricing, your pricing, discount structure, cost plus margin, I don't care what it is, figure it out, fix it. And guess what? It might vary. Your dry hire rental business may price differently than your production rental business, than your creative business. Figure out your pricing. I don't have all the answers for you here because there's a lot of right ways to do it. But if you're guessing about your pricing, okay, if your pricing doesn't align with your cost of goods sold, there's something wrong. It doesn't take that much to figure it out. So, do you need baseline packages in your pricing structure? Do you need enhancement options? Do you need a better process for estimating custom orders? Figure these things out, because if you can't price something, I don't know how you're going to make money doing it. Fix your pricing. The third thing that you've got to codify in your business before doing anything strategically moving forward is set your standards, right? What are your standards for execution? What is the quality that you expect every time you deliver something to a customer, regardless of what it is? Can you define it? Is it written down? Does your team understand it? Okay. If you are prepping an equipment order to go out on show site, what is the expectation of what a finished prep looks like? If you are installing a show for a customer, if you're getting their show done for them, what is the standard expectation for a rehearsal-ready show setup? Have you defined these things? These are two critical points in that process. And if you don't have daily conversations about meeting those criteria, you're not going to have a consistent body of work. You're not going to have consistent standards. It's going to be very difficult to make other decisions. Now, the same thing applies to customer service and support. Now, the customer is always right, except when they're wrong, except when they're a jerk, except when they're treating our people bad. What are your standards? Okay. How are you dealing with customer service? Are you talking about that? Does your team know to what extent you will go to do what you promised you would do? Right? So I know you will go to great lengths. The question is, how great are those lengths? And what is the process for doing that? So if you don't know how to define the standards for your execution so that other people understand it and work in that system, putting more pressure on the company to grow is going to struggle, because people won't know how to respond to new and different challenges that come their way as your strategy is successful. So you don't have to do all of these things before you call me. You may be calling me because you realize you need to do all of those things, but this is what you need to do if you've got long-range plans for growth and success for your business. Get these things right. Fix your accounting, get your pricing sorted out, and understand what your standards of delivery are, and you will do well in business. 100th episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following. Thanks for telling your friends about this. If we haven't chatted in a while, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. Cheers.
If you liked this episode of the Intentional Success Podcast, please leave a review and don't forget to like and subscribe. This podcast has been brought to you by the helpful folks at Mertz Crew.